when people are like, what's the best, which is the best one? I always say there is no translation where Anna does not commit suicide.
Hey everyone! Welcome back
guys.
to Limousine.
Welcome back to Limousine.
Do people even know what we're doing right now?
We're gonna tell them.
Across an ocean.
Across an ocean, truly. 2 separate continents, and yet we find a way.
Technology is incredible. We're in different time zones. We're on different coasts, and yet we are here with you to deliver you this intro for the final episode of the Limo Karenina book club. Can you even believe?
Limo Karenina. Do people? Wait, what a fun episode! It's such a good one.
Such a great guest.
Yeah, I was like, we simply must have an intro for this one. We can't go sans intro.
No. We need to qualify, tell you about this incredible guest.
We gotta bookend this. Yeah, we need a proper episode. So I am currently in Ghana on a trip, but I thought I simply must. We have to record an intro.
We gotta make this work.
So here we are.
God, it's
Wi-Fi
making me
is
think,
strong.
Heather, what's been your favorite part of the Limo Karenina book club? I mean, to really tie it all up with a bow.
That's a good question. Damn. I have to say our Discord chat. Discord chat was amazing. That was the best part.
We got to keep it going. We love you all. Our
Discord.
Yeah, no,
I'm now we have to have a Discord forever.
Yeah, literally, with that's never gonna die.
No, Discord for life. Leo, what was your favorite part?
Okay. Oh, it's so hard. I feel like one was our first episode because it was just so fun. We didn't know if it was gonna work, and it was just the two of us.
God, why was that? I remember 6 years ago.
It was so because we meant this as a summer book club, and it's a big book.
So it's almost Christmas.
It's a big book, okay?
It's a big book.
Yeah, what
I know. I'm always relieved when someone's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm like not even caught up. I'm still on like part 2." I'm like, exactly.
Thank God, exactly.
Perfect. Yeah.
But I remember, I think we just didn't know if it was going to work as a podcast episode. Like, oh, how do we figure this out? And then we sat down and did it in this very room. And I had chills afterward. I was like, this is so, it was so fun. I just had such a good time. And then I guess
that was
the
fun.
opposite of that is like the in-person book club was so fun too.
Oh yeah, that was so good. And trivia? Come on. Trivia was awesome.
Who doesn't love it?
Trivia was really good. Okay, wow. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I did have something that I wanted to ask you, Leah, which is what happened in your what happened in your week as a writer?
Wake it up. Yep, Thank you for asking, Heather.
Volume up to everyone listening.
Yeah. And I've got 4 words for you, Donald Trump. Turn the volume up.
Wait, sorry. Did I tell you that at the watch party that I went to, they turned the speech off before that part? No. I can't even really think about it or really talk about it, but it was just like the most bizarre thing that's ever happened.
No, literally,
they turned off the speech at like a random time. No, I found out the next day that he said that line. I'm like, okay, glad I'm watching this alone in my apartment with zero camaraderie, zero community.
Criminal.
Jail. I'm gonna go back and double check the name of that establishment, and I'm gonna put that in the show notes because they need to
go ahead and report that to the mayor. And I think
I'm reporting it.
In the you know what I mean, in the cultural revolution that's to come, they're gonna be take them away.
Yeah, I'm telling on my neighbors.
Yeah,
I'm snitching.
I'm about to be the number one rat.
I'm gonna
have a hotline to the mayor's 311 reporting service.
I'm gonna be a government operative.
Okay,
but wait, sorry. What happened in your week as a writer?
Well, I had a pretty big week in my writer.
Say that. Volume up on that.
Well, we're going to leave that in because we're all human and you all can understand. What I meant is that I had a big week in my life as a writer because I turned in a new draft of my novel to my editor, and I feel like it's almost done. The crowd goes wild.
Hell yeah.
I even have like
everyone's getting on tables.
Woo, yes. Here's an upside down copy.
Printed?
I'm covering
my gosh. Bound.
I know. bound.
Wait, what are you
'cause I have to-
covering?
I have to give physical copies to Blurbers.
Slay. Amazing week.
Yeah, it was so exciting. And
Love
it's leading
that.
me to wonder, Heather, what happened in your week as a writer?
I was thinking about this. I honestly think nothing happened. I had a workshop. That happened.
Love.
I was not workshopped though, so like less about me. But that
So
was
no
slay.
fun. Yeah.
So yeah, no, literally I'm like, can we speed this up?
Yeah. Clock is ticking. Hello.
But I think that might be it. I'm like, does that count, or do I have to bring something out of my notes?
I think you have to bring something out of your notes.
You think I have to bring? Okay. For anyone who's new, if nothing happened in mine or Leah's week as a writer, we have to go into our notes app, into our doc named thoughts, and pull out a thought that might entertain the audience. Okay, this one is like kind of not that good. I don't know.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
In the car on the way to a party, and the driver/person who knows the host says the host is reprehensible, which happened to me pretty recently. And my other friend who's in the car was like, that's a short story. And I was like, is it? But could be.
Oh,
I don't know.
It really could be. I would, yeah.
Why are you taking me to a party where the host is reprehensible? I need to know more.
Sometimes I'm
also
like,
reprehensible.
A perfect word. I was going to say, it's like, I feel like I've been in the driver's position where I'm like,
Stop.
let me just get ahead of this.
Stop.
Before you meet this person, you might find them reprehensible, but here are their like other qualities. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not sure that
Did they even couch it that
they just told us more about the person. I feel like they never really told us why the person was reprehensible to them. Reprehensible also feels like it has like there's like a moral judgment baked in. Like it's not just like I don't like this person, or I don't get along with them. It's like they're bad, and we're on our way to their party. I was like, okay.
I'm so curious. I want to know more.
Yeah, obviously I'll tell you more. But yeah, guys,
offline. We'll offline about this.
Sorry, guys. Okay, well, that makes me wonder, Leah, is there anything interesting that you consumed that you want to share with the audience?
Oh, yes, there is. There are a few things. I have been reading No God But Us, which I'm really enjoying, by Babouk Syed, which is coming out next year. And you guys were on a lineup together. Very fun.
Yes, yeah, for
Stage Break.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I really like the writing. The book is so fun. It's really interesting. And I'm almost done with that. So I feel like I can give a more full-throated endorsement once I finish. But my favorite thing that I've read this week is actually a short story. It is called Pleasantries by Erin Summers. It's in Granta. It came out, I think, a few weeks or months even ago. And I kind of like tabbed it for later. And my favorite thing to do when I'm with my family is, go in another room and read a short story. No.
I'm obsessed that that's even a possibility for you.
No, of course I did not have a chance at all to read it while I was with my family. I read it on the plane last night. But I'd been saving it. I've been like, I'm going to savor this. Is the point, and I loved it. It's about swingers in the Hudson Valley, and she is the best swinger documentarian of our time. Like really.
Does she have a book out?
Yes,
The 10-Year Affair or something. That's her.
That's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you read that?
Yes, and love that as well. And this is the same universe, but I would say even deeper into the swinging subculture.
That's so interesting. Has she spoken like in interviews about like swinging? Does she have like experience with swinging?
There was one interview where she talked about like how it was writing this and like talking about it with her husband or something like that. But I don't know that she's gotten into her, if any, her own personal experience.
I'm just like wondering if
we should have her on the podcast
and ask her why swinging is like one of her special interests.
I'll look for some interviews, but she whatever work she's done to explore it has paid off.
It's working.
That's all I want to say.
Paying off.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
love that.
100%.
Love that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to read that,
Heather,
obviously. I love a short story.
tell me what you think. Need to hear your thoughts. Everyone read it.
I'll tell you immediately.
And
yeah.
Heather, I have to ask, what have you consumed in the last couple weeks that you would like to tell the people about?
Okay, so I have watched, I feel like I've watched multiple movies. Oh yeah, I watched what is the name of this movie? It's the George Clooney one where he's a lawyer. Michael Clayton. I saw it.
Oh, I've
I saw
never
that.
seen that.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters at BAM with friend of the pod, Jordan. But it was so fun, and like he is like obsessed with that movie. Like he loves that movie. So it was like really
love
exciting for
that.
him to see it in theaters. And he brought two other friends, one of whom was also like a Michael Clayton super fan. And I was just like watching this movie and thinking like, I don't think I like this. This isn't that good. And so like when I didn't know he was a super fan of the movie. So like when we left, they were like, what'd you think? And I was like, I don't know, it's whatever. And they were just like, that's crazy. And they were like repeating lines to each other. Like, you know, these are like other film people. And they were like, this movie is amazing. And I was like, oh, sorry to say. I didn't.
Sorry.
I will say though, I'm open to changing my opinion, but I was just like, wow, I found George Clooney so uncharismatic. And I was like, I thought charisma was his thing.
Isn't that his whole thing?
Yeah, but he like was not, it wasn't working for me. But I would definitely watch it again and I would revise and resubmit kind of vibes with that.
God,
with
my nightmare is being like a hater among people who like love this thing. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Well,
like
there was one other guy there who was like, I felt the same, that I was just like, that was fine. But he told me that he's going through a journey of like not trusting his initial instinct anymore and trying to like give more time for things to cook because he thinks that makes him less of a hater when he takes time to think about something. And I was like, that's interesting.
I'm still gonna hate.
But I always, okay, I'm curious what you think about this because I always wonder, like, I always feel like my initial reaction is the true reaction and is like the purest and most honest and the closest to the truth. And that if I later revise the way that I feel about something without having rewatched it or taken in some new information, if like just by thinking about it, I change my opinion, I'm like, that's fake and that doesn't count, you know?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Because I was like, the more that I think about Michael Clayton, the more that I'm like, okay, kind of the point was that he's not that interesting of a person and he's not that glamorous. He's this like fixer, but it's showing how being a fixer is like, he's just a guy with a couple of connections who like cleans up messes. But I was like, sometimes I feel like if I have to do that much thinking and reasoning to make something make sense, that makes me feel like I'm doing work for the artist. And I'm like, I don't know if this is, I don't know.
God, okay, I almost think the opposite, if that makes sense. Because I have this feeling that like, especially when I'm writing a review, it's like the longer I look at something, the more I can find to critique about it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas often I'll like react to something and my initial reaction is like, that was fun. Or I liked that. Or
that's so true.
Like generally positive, you know? Like think of the number of times that's my reaction. But then if I'm like challenged to be like, okay, no, what did you actually think about this? It's like the longer I look at it, the more I'm like, well, now when you think about this, when you think about that, which I don't think is necessarily less true than my, in fact, is probably more true because I'm like forced to, you know?
Like, consider it.
Yeah. So maybe we should all reconsider our initial, you know?
Yeah, I might watch Michael Clayton a second time just as like an exercise. Another thing is that like one of his other friend who's there who loves Michael Clayton was like, I've never seen a movie that I don't like. Like I like them all. She was like, I'm a cinephile and I love all movies except Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I was like, okay. And I was like kind of into that as a first, as like, because you know, Noella is like, I like all movies. She's like, I'll just give she was like, they're all at least a 3. I'm like, that is one way to approach things.
Which is so true. It's like,
I mean, it is like, true.
If you have that mindset, it's like, well, yeah, you're going to enjoy it. It's a movie.
Sure, someone made a movie.
Like, you got to give it up for that. You got to respect it. Oh my God. That reminds me of something else I consumed this week that I can't talk about on the pod, but oh my God, I have to voice memo you about it.
Okay, amazing. Okay, I also watched The Materialists on the plane, which maybe I'll talk about on the Patreon. No, absolutely not.
I mean, that's.
Have you seen it?
No, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel I needed to.
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
I?
maybe it.
Do I Lipa? Do I
Oh my
Lipa?
God.
Yeah.
I think it's like worth a watch because it's interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe you watch it and
in
we
that
talk
way
about
where
it on
it's
the
like,
Patreon.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm down for that. We'll do
Yeah.
like a really late, review or
Yeah, late
something.
recap. Yeah. And then, okay, just to wreck another short story that's also on theme with the episode.
Ooh.
I read After the Ball by Tolstoy. Banger.
Ooh. Oh my gosh,
Good
can't wait to
story.
read. Oh my God.
Yeah, you should
Okay,
read it.
well, I'm going to sit down with that one.
Yeah, lock in. I'll read that Erin Summers one probably at the airport.
Oh, it's the perfect place to read it. Wow, I can't wait to hear what you think.
I believe you.
Well,
that's all I got. Do you have anything
I guess
else?
let me remind all the people to prepare what they've read this year, because we will, within the next few days, be preparing for our second annual Limo Wrapped.
So true.
In which we talk about every book that we read this year, every book you read this year, what you loved, what you hated, and what you're anticipating for 2026.
We're ranking and categorizing, people. That's what we're getting into.
Yeah, get ready.
Which we love.
Yeah, which is what life's all about, frankly.
Yeah. It's about ranking, rating, and categorizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The rest is just fluff in between.
Wow. Okay. Well, guys, we have a sleigh guest coming up for part 8. Part 8 of Limo Karenina. We also have a limo on December 4th, which we would love to see you guys at. It's at Berry Park, which it always is, at 7 p.m. It's naughty or nice, holiday themed. Okay. And Mom Donnie's
secular
saying,
come on.
Holidays.
Happy holidays.
Okay. And yeah, we have a sick lineup.
Without further ado, over to Jen.
Yeah, over to Jen.
Bye.
Hi, guys.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Limousine.
Welcome back to the pod, to Limo Karenina. We have an iconic guest today.
I'm so excited. We cannot believe we have this guest.
We were gagged.
A real expert. We are in the library. We're in the campus. We're kind of in the stacks right now. Like, we have a scholar.
We just learned how to properly pronounce Varenka. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
And Mujik.
Yeah.
Okay? Apologies for what we've been saying for the whole time.
We're
Jen,
being educated.
Do not look back.
Don't look back at the archives. It's scary. Okay, I'm going to do a bio read so that you can understand why our guest today is so iconic. And then we can get right into it. Okay, Jennifer Wilson is a staff writer at The New Yorker covering books and culture. Previously, she was a critic at the New York Times Book Review. In 2022, she received the Nana Balakian Citation for Excellence in Reviewing from the National Book Critics Circle. In 2024, she was awarded the Robert B. Silvers Prize for Literary Criticism for work including her 2023 essay on the brothers Karamazov. She holds a PhD in Slavic languages and literatures from Princeton University and has written extensively about Russian and Eastern European culture. Wilson has also taught cultural reporting and criticism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. You can count on my mom as a new subscriber after that intro.
We love moms.
We love moms. Moms are some of our most loyal subscribers,
100%.
namely our two.
Yep. Top 2 moms who are in it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I'm an ex-scholar. I'm a retired professor, but it's exciting to be back in the classroom, so to speak.
Bring the jersey back out, pull it down
Dust it
from
off.
the rafters. Come on,
Dust it
because
off.
we have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah.
And you're our final guest, so it feels like we can come to you for like all of the questions we've been storing up to kind of contextualize the book. Like,
boy, have we stored some up.
yeah.
Yes. Boy, have I just gone with some questions unanswered.
Boy, have I just said, I'm not going to dig deeper on that.
I mean, I have read this book so many times in English, in Russian. I wrote about it for my dissertation. Even I was still like looking things up and just trying to, what is that a reference to? I mean, it's, this is a very, dense novel. I mean, I know it's supposed to be this very like fun novel of adultery and, it's very sexy and there's lots of intrigue. But there's a ton about Russian politics, about agrarian reform, You know, I mean, so you have to, you know, I feel
Riveting
like
stuff.
every time I read it, I am also a student. So, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us about your dissertation and we ask everyone who comes on what their relationship to the book is, and I feel like you already have given us a glimpse into that, but when did you first find it and what does it mean to you?
Oh my God. So I have been reading Anna Karenina on and off for 20 years. I should say I've read it as a college student, very young. I read it as a graduate student. I read it as a married woman. I'm now reading it again as a divorced woman. So I feel like every time you know, this book has really helped me understand my own relationship to romance, to how I define love, to how I, you know, and so it's a very personal book for me. But I first read it in college, as I think many people do. Some people read it in high school, and I find that
Well, that's crazy.
you know, especially Brothers Karamazov in high school. I'm like, what did you think anything was about? But yeah, I first read it in a 19th century Russian literature class at Columbia. I was reading that translation.
Oh.
It was a big deal at the time. It was new back then. I'm aging myself. It was the Pervyer Volkonsky translation. It was selected by Oprah's book club.
Oh, yeah.
And my professor at the time sort of had done some work with Oprah's book club. She had written the study guide for the O Magazine's website. And so it was very exciting at the time.
I mean, that is exciting.
I was like reading Tolstoy for the first time. I was being taught by someone who maybe had met Oprah.
I love that there's just a question mark around whether or not she's met Oprah.
I also love the degrees of separation, like
Yeah.
being taught by
Yeah.
someone who potentially met Oprah.
It was, you know, a lot was happening all at once. And so, but my feelings about it have changed every single time. I mean, I remember the first time I read it thinking, God, why, you know, that I was like a Karenin apologist. I was like, I don't understand. He's like there for her. He's, you know, even willing to like be okay with her having, you know, continuing to see Vronsky. And then when I went to graduate school and I read it, a lot of people actually had the same feeling that I did. And they sort of like thought that Anna was so, well, they were harder on Anna than I was. They thought Anna was so selfish and impulsive, and why was she giving everything over to this relationship? And my professor said something I've never forgotten. She said, you have to understand, she has never been in love before, and she doesn't know that it could happen again.
Yeah. And it might not.
And it might not. And when you think of it that way, it just completely changed how I saw the novel, the characters, and really like myself. And so, you know, it's an important book for me.
That really does change everything because I feel like, obviously we know this is her first time leaving her marriage, but there's something almost like, she feels almost experienced in some way, or like, I don't know, I think like the calmness with which I mean, it's not total calm, but you know, the fact that she even makes a decision at all makes her seem suited to doing this or like experienced with it in some way, but obviously it's her first time having an affair.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
It does contextualize her choices so much. It's like,
Yeah.
well, it's almost like teenager style love where it's like, oh my, like they'll do anything to be together. They like think it's forever, but it's like maybe not. So it's a little bit short-sighted. But of course it feels that way to them because they've been in these like locked cages of like, you know, economic romance or like marriage as a transaction.
And particularly women, because, you know, Karenin would have had relationships before his marriage. So he would have known about kind of, you know, how, you know, this explosion of love and then jealousy, and, you know, he would have had more experience. You know, all of the male characters would have had more experiences with this. But, you know, a lot of these girls were just sort of kind of like, that's what I thought you meant by locked in cages.
Yeah, I mean, in a way.
You know, and they essentially, they come out to society and then they marry the first guy they like dancing with. You know, it's
And yes,
it's really how it worked, you know. And even that was considered, and even that was considered progress. That you know that the daughters would have any say whatsoever in who they married. So she also represents this new moment where women are being told that love, you know, matters at all, and she takes it to, you know, its extreme.
Yeah. It's also such an interesting contrast to Karenin because he kind of understands about himself that there's a certain kind of love that he can't feel. And he's like decided that he's okay with that. But like Anna didn't really sign up for that, did she? She didn't sign up for the idea that she was like not going to be in love with her husband and just live a life without love. That is interesting to think about. I want to ask about your translation. We were talking about this before.
Yes, we have to ask. It's about to get shady.
Guys, we were so confident in our choice.
No, we thought we picked the best one, and Jen came in here and said, no.
Let's hear it.
Not to put words in your mouth.
So, I mean, Tolstoy scholars will say that this is sort of the best one. This is the Constance Garnett translation, but important caveat, it was revised by two scholars, Leonard Kent and Nina Berova. Nina was a professor at Princeton, and so she was sort of an academic, and so that could maybe bias people a little bit, you know, someone that they knew, someone they went to conferences with. But no, I mean, here's what I always say when people are like, what's the best, which is the best one? I always say, there is no translation where Anna does not commit suicide. They're not radically different.
Me searching for the one with a happy ending. Me like
happy ending translation
where Vronsky and Anna end up together.
I mean, I have read every translation. I read it in Russian. The translations vary a little bit here and there. It's important if you're writing an academic paper to talk about, word choice and that sort of thing, but there's nothing dramatic. I always say whichever one you enjoy reading the most. Because also the thing about translation is it's also writing. Whose writing do you like the most? I mean, Constance Garnett was writing, like 100 years ago, and she's English, so the style is going to be a little different than a translation written by an American, for instance. So there's lots of little differences like that. The only translation I'm really adamant about is the Crime and Punishment translation. I don't think there's any point in reading a translation that's not by Oliver Ready.
Okay, this is
Oliver
super good to
Ready.
know.
Good to know because
It is dramatically better than every other translation of Crime and Punishment.
Okay.
This changes everything because I've tried 3
Potentially.
times. Yeah, well,
Potentially changes
that's true. Let me not speak too soon.
Yeah. I just don't want you guys to think I'm afraid of giving an opinion. I can when I need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Important to know.
Well, should we go ahead and get started and
Yeah.
start recapping the final section of this very long book?
God, what a section. Let's get into
A section that almost didn't exist.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so part 7 ends with Anna committing suicide, throwing herself in front of the train, which is such that paragraph.
I know.
I wanted to say stops me in my tracks. I wonder if that's where that expression comes from.
In a way.
It's so good, but yeah, and that was how the novel was supposed to end. This very dramatic, dark death, and I think the darkest thing about her death is that when she's on the track, she actually has a moment where she's like, "Oh no, I don't want to be doing this," and she tries to get up, and the train. It's just like one of the most horrific deaths in literature, but that's how it was supposed to end. And so part 8, Tolstoy's editor did not want it, and then the journal didn't want it. He took a political stance in part 8 on something totally unrelated to, well, I can argue that there's a connection, but the Serbian War and whether or not Russians should go and volunteer to fight on behalf of Serbians looking for independence from the Ottoman Empire. Readers are going to be like, what? That's in Anna Karenina? That is in part 8, which Tolstoy imagined as also sort of an epigraph, where he kind of ties up some of the broader kind of political themes in the novel.
It really is a funny mismatch, and so it feels like he was like,
I mean,
let me just
one last thing.
Let me get this opinion in there, by the way, because I want people to know how I feel about
this little
and I'll
war
just
they're doing.
Tack it on, exactly.
And didn't it didn't come out in the magazine or like newspaper where everything else was published. He like
The Russian Herald,
he like bound it himself.
Yeah.
Or something. Like
Yeah.
Or sorry, he hand bound it. No,
He did a zine.
It was printed.
He did,
elsewhere
he did
and,
a zine.
Yeah.
He did the first zine, actually.
Yeah. But it's crazy to imagine the novel ending just with that suicide. I mean, part 8 is not my favorite part.
Nor mine.
But I'm also glad we have a little bit of a softer landing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
Okay.
it would be so depressing to leave off where we did.
However, it is so. You described this as funny, and I think you're right. This is hilarious. Then
yeah.
we start the next section with Sergei Ivanovich of all people, who is like. He's like hardly. I mean, he's obviously he has his moments, but he's just what a random guy to just pick things up with.
I found it so the juxtaposition is so comical to go from literally her flame going out forever as the last sentence of part 7, and then just go to Sergei Ivanovich's his book that has finally come out after 6 years of toil, which is entitled An Essay in Survey of the Principles and Forms of Statehood in Europe and Russia. Like, to go from that to this is so hilarious. It feels on purpose.
It's crazy, yeah.
Okay, you're actually swaying me in favor of that translation now, because this says government, and I actually think statehood is better in the context of
interesting.
when we're thinking about imperialism and independence.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you have an idea, like, or any sense of like what his book would have been about? He talks about it a little bit, but like, I mean, it's so funny. He's like, I thought this was going to make an enormous impression
I mean, I
on
love this.
everything.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be like laughably vague
Yeah.
on
Okay,
some
yeah,
level.
okay.
Like, I think, we don't get any description of it. But yeah, it's quite funny that it's also, then it gets a bad review.
Just one. It
Just
gets
one
but
review.
it's hard to get his goat to get one bad review.
But it's just, this could have been written today by a contemporary novelist
my-
upset about their like poor reviews. The critic had undoubtedly put an interpretation upon the book which could not possibly be put on it. That made absolutely no sense. I mean, it's just so, you could just hear a writer saying that today. Yeah, I don't know if it was the Russians in particular, but they all took jabs at critics.
Oh, yeah.
In their books, like in the Brothers Karamazov, the devil, when he visits Ivan, says, I'm also, because Ivan's like a book critic, he's like, oh, well, we have basically the same job. We both. Our job is to kind of, drown out the hosannas of praise. And
The devil is a book critic.
yeah. So we get this like sort of, so Levin's brother's book comes out, and then, you're right. It's a
That is so
bizarre way to
crazy.
follow
The devil wears tweed.
on a,
The devil wears tweed.
yeah. And then we get this jab at critics. So readers are thinking like, what does this have to do with
With the
Frankly,
suicide
anything.
of
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I love this paragraph here where we're following Sergei's thoughts about the reviewer, and he says, remembering that when they had met, he had corrected the young man in the use of a word that showed his ignorance, he found the explanation of the article's meaning. So he basically is like, oh, I must have personally offended him. There's no other way my book could be negatively reviewed. I feel like we hear that all the time.
It's a
I
classic.
honestly think it all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sure I've offended them. Like, that's why. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be my ideas that they find any
Not
issue
that. Yeah. I also love the fact that he was like sitting and waiting for a review, and he had like calculated how long it would take to read the book and then to put out a review, and then he had also done it generously. So he's like, so what's taking so long? Like, what's taking so long on these? But he's able to throw himself into something else.
with. Yes, immediately. There's a war going on. And he feels like this kind of like energy of the Serbian war can be like his new mission in life, basically. He's like, this war against the Turks is my new MO.
And everyone's kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, the way...
everyone who's like unemployed?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. This swipe that Tolstoy takes at anyone who gets really excited about the So there was this massive kind of Russian volunteer effort. People were volunteering to join the Serbian war and go to Serbia and fight on behalf of the Serbian rebels while they were looking for independence from the Ottoman Empire. And a lot of Russians went. And Dostoevsky was a big supporter of the Russian volunteer effort. Well, he was a nationalist, an imperialist, and Tolstoy was not. So
Tolstoy's a real America First type of guy.
There's like two different parts that are so funny that he says. In the milieu to which Sergei Ivanovich belonged, nothing else was talked or written about at the time but the Slavic question and the Serbian war. All that an idle crowd usually does to kill time was now done for the benefit of the Slavs. Balls, concerts, dinners, speeches, ladies' dresses, beer at taverns, all bore witness to a sympathy with the Slavs. I thought that was so funny because it feels so New York. It's like our reading for X cause, and you're like, well, so how is the reading? Our zine for X, and it's like you were going to do the zine anyway.
The zine was still going to happen, babe. So, and I don't want to be like so cynical about but really it does feel very New York.
The idea that the dresses, like the ladies' dresses, everything, but like I can think of so many analogs, even to like good causes that I support that I'm just like, well.
Yeah. He said he saw that in this general movement, those who thrust themselves forward the most and shouted the loudest were men who had failed and were smarting under a sense of injury. Generals without armies, ministers not in the ministry, journalists not on any paper, party leaders without followers. Like, pretty unequivocal there.
Yeah.
Quite harsh in this.
Yeah.
I mean, well, this is interesting, like looking back on the book as a whole, because I feel like we've talked about in past parts, like that there's this kind of like Eastern question coming up in the book, or like this Russia as like a borderline between East and West, and it feels like at the end here we're getting an even more like physical version of that in a way.
Well,
also paired with Sergei's book about statehood in Europe and Russia. So I don't know, it feels like interesting that it's so pronounced that Tolstoy feels like he has to weigh in like on the war itself.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you think about Karenin's job, though, I mean, his job was he was supposed to oversee the kind of minority populations of Russia, lest they become or try to become independent. Like his, Russia has over 100 ethnicities, Bashkirs, Buryats, Tatars, many of whom were colonized by the Russian Empire. And so his job was sort of to make sure they were all in line.
God, that's what he was doing with the racial minorities.
That's what he was doing with the racial minorities.
When they're like, oh, he's on the subcommittee for racial minorities, I'm like, okay, like, is he good or is he
right? And who else was he trying to keep from seeking independence?
Oh,
wow.
Yes.
There you go. It's all connected.
Yeah. And that's so true. I guess I'm trying to remember what exactly it was that he was going out into the countryside to do with them. Like, what was he doing? Just like checking on, like, because I feel like the way that it was phrased was almost, I can't remember, but it was something like he was trying to solve their problems, but it was like solve their problems, but like you're saying it was to solve their problems, but for the greater goal of them not being so dissatisfied that they rise up or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay, that is so interesting.
Fascinating.
So we find him kind of like suspicious then of like the pan-Slavic movement. Is that what it
Tolstoy?
seems like? Yeah. Yeah. Right? Like
Yeah. I mean, this notion that that all Slavs are brothers, right? And so in the Balkans, those are known as the South Slavs. And so there was this notion that Russians should go and defend their Slavic brethren. Now, I think that the important thing to understand is that rhetoric also got used to fight against Polish nationalism. It was sort of like, we're all brothers, though.
Yeah,
why do you need to be independent? So there's, it's fascinating that, Pan-Slavism was sort of used on behalf of this kind of anti-imperial movement when the empire is a different empire, when it's the Ottoman Empire. But in the context of Russia, you still hear this today. I mean, Putin says, well, the Ukrainians, they're our brothers. And Russian imperialism in that way functioned a little differently than other kinds of Western imperialism. It wasn't as much about kind of, othering, these people are different, we need to come. And that was certainly their, particularly when they were colonizing non-Slavic peoples. But they often used the rhetoric of sameness. We're all one already.
Yeah.
So we're just like officializing something that's already like spiritually true.
Russia's just
we're
an older brother. It's just the eldest, the eldest daughter.
Yeah.
So Sergei has he's swept up in this craze. He feels that it's like reflective of the national public opinion. And he goes out to visit
He forgets all about his
Yeah, he's like, let
moves
me, I mean, maybe Tolstoy's saying he's one of the failures in that way.
Yeah, he's a writer without book reviews.
A writer without readers.
A writer without readers.
Yeah.
He's like a general without an army,
Yikes.
I know, it's awful.
It's very heartbreaking. But he decides to go visit his brother, and he brings along another scholar with him, Katavasov?
Katavasov? Where is the stress on this? Katavasov? I think I would say Katavasov.
Yeah. Who seems to be kind of like a natural scientist, was my kind of understanding of his work. And the two of them go out to the countryside together to spend some time with Levin and his new little family.
And when they get there to the train station, well, so tons of people are getting on the train to go out.
Tons of failures.
Tons of flops. Tons of flops and losers are going.
I mean,
going to join the war effort. They're not so there's just like a lot of commotion at the train station. They're like singing all these patriotic songs, etc. And they run into none other. Well, first Vronsky's mother.
And she kind of gives them the tea on what's gone on with Vronsky, which, I mean, I feel like, again, this is why I feel like in some ways Tolstoy was trolling with the opening, because of course I get to part 8 and I'm like, tell me about Vronsky, he must be like devastated. And instead we get, the poor reception to this book. But finally we find out what Vronsky's up to.
Yeah.
Jen, what is he up to?
Well, first I wanted to talk a little bit about the Fleabag reference.
Fleabag reference?
I just remember in the last scene of Fleabag, there's that graffiti and everyone was trying to figure out what it was, and it was Serbian graffiti, and it's the exact same Serbian that they're using here.
Interesting.
That's where they're like trying to cheer in Serbian.
Wait, stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know if that's interesting to anyone.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah, no, there's some, this is kind of interesting that there's some like Serbian being spoken.
When are they speaking Serbian?
Is it
Živio?
Okay.
I don't know I don't speak Serbian, so I don't know if that's...
Viva in Serbian is what it says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
But yes, what is he? I mean, he has a toothache. That is talked about a lot by scholars, the fact that he has a toothache. But he's devastated, destroyed. He spent 6 weeks not, barely being able to eat, talk. He's consumed. I mean, I think this is a suicide mission. He's basically joining he's volunteering in the war effort, basically expecting to be killed. He's refusing people's, people are saying, oh, I can, write a letter of introduction, helping to introduce you to, people in authority there, essentially who could, protect him a little bit, make sure he has a nice post while he's fighting, and he just says no, not interested. I mean, he's going to die, and we also find out what happens to his daughter with Anna. That Karenin just took the daughter because he and Anna were still legally married, and so he's lost his lover, he's lost his child. I think we get such an innocent portrayal of him, though. Like, he was, the whole time he was just with his mom. And, and obviously Anna thought that he was with this other woman, and it's just, I don't know. I just think this is just a very neat and tidy kind of way to make Vronsky seem just so pitiful. And it's one of the parts of the novel where I side with critics of Tolstoy who just sort of say, like, he's not, he is portraying Anna in this very unfair, nasty way. And I think that, it would have been, I think, more fair to her to maybe have him not being so innocently just with his mom. But I mean, I don't know, that might have been, that would have detracted, I'm sure, from the point that Tolstoy was trying to make about romantic love. But being so, when it's so all-consuming, it can make you crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, I also was not a fan of Tolstoy in this section and of his like depiction of Anna, or like kind of where it feels like he's coming down on a side that's like against her. In part because we get Vronsky's mom, who goes on about how she's like this nasty woman, even the way she died was disgusting. Vronsky is totally destroyed. And then when we do, Oblonsky's also at the station. When we do encounter him, he like doesn't really say anything about his sister, about like missing his sister. Am I wrong in thinking that we run into Oblonsky?
We do run into Oblonsky.
We do.
And Oblonsky,
It's just like,
he's just like in a jolly mood again. I'm like, what?
Well, and like he was like her defender for a lot
It was
of the
really
piece.
strange. Like the characterization of everyone in this section feels off.
Yeah.
Like these are not who, like, you're right. Like Steve is actually my favorite character.
Yes.
In the novel. Even the way he treats Dolly is horrible.
For sure.
But he's such a successful character because we're told that even though he's a kind of a loser and wastes everyone's money, everyone loves him somehow. And you're like, really? How does that work? And then you're like, I get it.
Yes, I get it. He's so charming.
He's so charismatic. And like you said, he really advocates on behalf of his sister. They have a great relationship. And so it's very disappointing to see him here just, still like trying to cover up his tracks with Dolly and still
just
trying to make
maneuvering for a new appointment kind of thing.
We don't even get a little I don't know. I wanted a little internal monologue about like his beautiful sister and like how she was like ruined by this love to this man. I don't know. I was like, I want a little something else.
A little grief.
Yeah. But I have a question. Like I don't know, how much do you know about like Tolstoy as a person? Like, do you know anything about his relationship with his sister? Didn't his sister have like a similar situation?
Well,
he like loved her so much.
Anna is actually based on a real person. So one of his neighbors was married to a woman who was constantly jealous of the governesses who were in their employ, and they were constantly arguing. She was accusing him of cheating all the time. And she wrote him a letter that said, I hope I can remember it exactly, be happy with her if murderers can be happy. Find my body on the tracks of Shane's rail station.
Oh my God.
And she killed herself.
Oh my God.
And Tolstoy knew her, so they asked him, and he was, obviously he's Tolstoy, they asked him to help
That's amazing.
Identify the body. And
oh my gosh.
and so he went and he looked. She had gray eyes, like Anna Karenina. Yeah. So she's based really on that character. And, but yeah, no, I don't think that I think this is just poor writing. Which seems to be a terrible
well, if he was ready to talk about the war and kind of forgot about
this was not really edited. Like, he didn't have the benefit of his editor. This was really kind of put together. It was sort of barely attached to the novel. So I think
the way I'm imagining like physically attached, it was like barely, it was just like hanging off the side of the novel.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, I'm imagining like, like the Amazon self-publishing or whatever, where he's like, upload.
Yeah. There was also a lot in the news about crimes of passion. That was a new concept.
Yeah.
So he was also just reading a lot of these kind of sensational news stories about crimes of passion. There was one case in particular, can't remember if it was in Moscow or Petersburg at the time, where like a society lady had an affair, and the man that she was having an affair with became jealous, I don't know of whom, and killed her and then killed himself.
Whoa.
So he was thinking a lot about crimes of passion, suicide. So. And he himself, I believe, had like expressed some thoughts about like some we would now call suicidal ideation, but it's a theme. And I mean, there was also this was also the beginning of the Russian radical movement, and there was a lot of fear about potentially like suicide bombers and that kind of thing. And actually the Tsar was eventually killed just a few years after this was published by a suicide bomber. So there was also a lot of interest in suicide in the Russian press. Like people were really thinking about it too. So this is, it's amazing how this novel has just stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Because it is very much of its moment. People living in Russia in the 1870s would have recognized all of this. It would have, I don't want to say it would have been like a Law and Order ripped from the headlines kind of episode, but I'm not saying that. It's very, it's very relevant to what was happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing that like the emotional arc can still be so like without any of that context, it still like makes sense. It still hits, and then when you learn more, you're like, oh, he's like taking swipes at real people. Like he's like he is weighing in on things that are happening in the moment.
But to your point, I mean, maybe it's not nice to say it's bad writing, but to your point, I mean, this question of like how upset, why is Steve so like unmoved by this? I mean, Tolstoy's also thinking in this section about siblings, because we're talking about Slavic brethren. And he's sort of like, I don't really think that we're the brothers of the Serbs. Like, I don't really actually think that's that close of a tie. So that makes me think, if I were still teaching, I would sort of say, hey, do we think that that's perhaps a commentary on Tolstoy questioning kind of the strength of sibling bonds?
Honestly,
that's what I would have said. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
That kills me because that was one of my favorite bonds in the whole book. Like they're so different as people and still just, I don't know.
They're
they show
so
up for each
related.
other.
Anna and Stiva are totally related.
They make
they
so
absolutely get
much
that,
sense as siblings.
Yeah. Like you actually understand her appeal through him, because I'm like, well, if she's like the female Stiva, then okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yes, she's charming
That's
too.
real.
Like and they both like. I mean, one of the early depictions of him is like he can't resist taking a sweet roll. It's like she, in a way, like they're the same.
She took the sweet.
Yeah. She also can't resist a sweet roll.
Yeah. I love that. I love the sweet. That's
It's so funny. And he's like, how can a man just have one? Or like whatever like that. I'm just like, damn, Steve.
That's really the whole novel, though.
In a big way, how many rolls do you take? And like, are you not just be satisfied with your bread or whatever?
That conversation haunts me.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Haunts me because like I want to be someone who's satisfied with my daily bread. Like in general, like not just in relationships, like just in general. I like to think of myself as someone who's, just happy with what they have, what they need, doesn't want anything in excess. And I hate to imagine that I'm like Stiva and I'm like, oh, but what if I just had a little bit extra? Like, what if I just had a little...
But then you look at someone like Steven, it's like he's happy. Like he's happy and people like him and people feel that he's like satisfied with like...
Besides his wife.
Well, and so besides Dolly.
Everyone but that one.
But yeah, he like, I don't know, he gets all the roles and then he doesn't put up like artificial boundaries or I guess marriage is not an artificial boundary, but he doesn't put up those boundaries and I don't know, he doesn't like beat himself up like Levin would for even considering a role. Like Levin would kill himself if he thought about it.
And nearly does.
And so.
And I also think that one of the great things about Steve is he also exists to just show in really stark contrast the gender, the difference. Like he's doing exactly what Anna's doing times, I don't know, we don't know how many there are. Nothing happens to him. He just keeps being rewarded, promoted, forgiven. And that's then where I defend the novel, because I'm like, well, what other novel has really shown the double standards at that time?
So starkly.
And you know where it's most stark for me is like in the kids. Like he sleeps around. And he has all of these kids as a result of not sleeping around, but as a result of sleeping with his wife. And like Anna has one affair and has one more kid, and it's so disastrous for her to like she has to live with the evidence of this thing. Like it just is so unfair. Like he gets to have his even his kids that he has in his marriage, he's not
around
concerned
for. No.
with. It's
But the difference is that Anna thinks that Vronsky is her daily bread. She doesn't think that that Vronsky is just like one sweet roll, and there's going to be more sweet rolls.
Right.
Because Karenin gives her that option of just have an affair.
So
That is
true.
so
Everyone's
true.
just
so
have
true.
there's the
Just have the affair.
Yeah.
Hush hush. Don't
just
ask,
have
don't
your
tell.
dessert.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
No,
Yeah.
I want to be.
This is the meal.
This is the full
this is
meal.
the whole thing.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That also makes me think of like Vronsky's mom. Like one of her first things is that she's like, oh, I'm happy he's in this, like, it's so good for him to have an affair. And then she's like, oh wait, they're serious? Like they're being really serious. Like it's not, like when she realizes that it's not just a thing on the side, she's like, I can't support
He's
that.
embarrassing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, the sweet treat thing is now making me feel differently about the toothache too. I'm kind of like something about the recurring toothache for Vronsky is like he's like gorged himself or something.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
something is gone wrong in what he's consuming.
Yeah.
And now he has this like pain that's come back multiple times.
And we've got all the same characters here that we had when they first met. So we've
Yeah.
got Vronsky, we've got his mother again on the train. It's just, I mean, it really, and the mother Vronsky's mother met Anna before
and on a
Vronsky
train.
did, and then she kind of had the first judgment. Like, I sat next to this lovely woman.
Yeah.
And now we see her, casting judgment. I mean, it's just an incredible way to kind of bring us back to the beginning. And it just makes you wonder, gosh, if she just had been sitting in a different compartment, if she had not been sitting in the same compartment with Vronsky's mother,
What would happen?
Yeah.
It's I coincidentally, without knowing they had any connection, I read The Unbearable Lightness of Being last week, and there's a huge part of it where he's talking about how that kind of symmetry like seems like it only belongs in a novel, like it's only Anna Karenina that would be like that, but actually like life happens that way all the time, where like it's tied off with a bow,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
Of course she'd be there, and of course they'd be on a train, and like that's how this whole saga would end.
Yeah.
Well, the train is also the symbol of, progress, of modernity, of, things moving too quickly into the future, Russia trying to keep up with Western Europe and losing its soul in the process.
Yeah. Well, so then we get to Kitty.
Okay, yeah.
And Kitty is loving having a baby.
She is.
Levin's kind of gloomy though. What's new?
Who's surprised?
I was like, oh God, like here we go again. I mean, like it's like, no, I mean, I was telling you all before, like War and Peace has 2 epilogues, and the second epilogue is like, I can't remember if it was actually 100 pages or if it just felt like 100 pages, but of like this, of like, but maybe, but
No,
what? I don't know. Why are we here? What is history? Like, what is the, like, oh my God, I was just.
I'm like,
dude. Yeah. Like when you were saying before, when you're like, can you imagine this book ending with Anna just throwing herself on the tracks? I'm like, no, but I could imagine it without this.
Yeah. It's not a satisfying end. I don't know what sorry, but I don't want to get ahead to 11, but let's stick to Kitty for a second before we discuss.
I think we can skip there.
Because I feel like she kind of goes into considering, she's like, my husband's upset because he doesn't believe in God. And like, that's too bad. But she has like an interesting kind of like progressive take on it, which is like, that's fine. Like, I don't think she's like, is he gonna go to hell? I guess. Like, those are the rules, but I still think he's a good person, and that's fine.
And she even says to their son Mitya, she's like, be like him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that he's an unbeliever. Like, you should like act the way that he acts. You know?
And she's talking about how he's like, she's basically like, he's a real man. Like,
What a thing for Tolstoy to write about a marriage based on his own. Be like your father. Yeah. He's a great guy.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
I think like even though everybody hates on Levin, I feel like to me he feels like, and I don't know that much about Tolstoy, but for some reason he just feels like he's the one who's most supposed to be an avatar for Tolstoy, and like you feel that somehow. Like there's like a level of sympathy he has for Levin and all of his shenanigans that you still
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Well,
you
it's
kind of come away feeling like he's the good guy.
It's this searching, it's this doubt. There's this sense of like, am I a good person? Am I doing things right? I mean, I thought one part that was really touching was when Levin was trying to figure out how to treat the peasants well. He's like, well, what do I do if they don't pay their rent? And what do I do if they, mess up the fields by dragging their cattle across it?
Yeah. Or they're like too old to even be that useful anymore. And,
Yeah,
like
how do I run this as a successful, business while treating these people well? And it's a bit about the ethics of being a landowner, which was a big theme at this time in Russian society. After serfdom, you have these various reforms, and people are writing these kind of like self-help manuals for landowners, kind of, how to be a good landowner. And Tolstoy, at one point, I think earlier in the novel, he kind of like, there's a little bit of a satire of that, of Levin kind of reading those, and none of them are really satisfying.
Yeah.
Why? Because ultimately the answer is really God and Christianity for Tolstoy. So if your self-help book does not end with really God is the answer, he's gonna,
Tolstoy would have hated Mel Robbins.
Yeah. I mean, he hated this novel at the end. Certainly by the end of his life, but even as he was writing it, oh my God, the stories of him having writer's block working on this are some of the funniest things. Like, he's like, maybe I could get someone else to write it for me.
Yeah.
He was just like, it's repulsive to me. Like, he's like, you know what? Maybe I should just retract it and just, put out a letter of apology and just say I will never do this again.
So relatable.
So relatable.
When I was listening to, I listened to this like biography of him at the time that he was like writing Anna Karenina, and like one of the most relatable things is that he was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna have this wrapped up by December.
Yeah.
He kept thinking he was gonna have it done next month, and then it would take him like months, like half a year for the next part. Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
He had no understanding of how long it was gonna take.
He was like, he was doing all sorts of stuff. He was like, I think at one point he said, I think I should be able to finish this in 2 weeks. And it took him 4 years. And I mean, he was like learning Greek from a priest. He was
writing those books about education for kids.
Yeah, he was writing a primer like to help Russian peasants learn how to read.
He'll do anything but finish the novel. Like,
me making
when
a
the deadline comes up.
I'm learning how to make a new kind of frosting.
But do you catch where the alphabet, like the primer, does come into this novel?
Anna, yeah.
Oh my God.
Or no.
Well, I think it comes in with the letters with Kitty and Levin and the proposal.
Oh, totally.
Interesting.
Oh my
I was thinking
gosh.
because Anna's like, isn't she's writing a book about how to educate children in part.
I can't remember.
When she's out in the countryside with Brodsky and
Oh,
he's like
yeah,
building a hospital and she's like, fine, I'll also develop
Yeah,
an interest.
I have a hobby too, by the way.
I can get one of those.
Yeah.
And she like starts like writing about educating kids.
Oh, and there are so many fights about how to educate kids, actually. Like, whether you should teach them French
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
And Levin is like horrified at the education of Dolly and Steva's kids.
Yes. Yeah.
so un-Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Dolly doesn't want to leave Levin alone to teach the kids. She's like, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're gonna do it the way the kids, like their instructor does it. And
Yeah.
all that stuff. God, even Karenin is like has like I can't even remember what it was.
That's
There's like
right.
some opinion, something about the way that they're teaching.
The Bible, right?
Yeah.
Like this like thing with Seryozha and like his
Yeah.
Bible stories, like making sure he has those right.
Yeah.
Well, this is like, in Russia, this is kind of the era of reform. So, the serfs were freed in 1863. And then kind of the decade after that, people were really thinking about how to restructure society. How do we educate the peasants? So it is also this era where people are coming up with, primers and books on how to do things and trying to kind of imagine a more progressive future for Russia. So that's definitely, it's kind of all over the novel.
Yeah.
And yet none of it brings Levin any solace. He cannot
I love
figure
your
out how to be
transition.
happy.
No, it's an important one. It's like, but that's why Tolstoy's so dissatisfied, because he's reading. There's all of these new theories, all of these like ideas about how Russian society should be kind of restructured, and he doesn't. None of them appeal to him.
There's Plato, Spinoza, Kant, Schelling, Hegel, and Schopenhauer.
Useless.
Useless.
Toss it out. Yeah.
Throw them away.
Yeah, I mean, later in life, he eventually settles on basically kind of, we think of it as kind of like anarchism, like Christian anarchism. He renounces private property, gives up the copyright to his books, like drives his wife insane.
I was gonna say, his wife through hell.
You know, practices chastity. That was the subject of my dissertation, was chastity in the Russian novel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why I write a lot about Varenka, the spinster character.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that so much.
But yeah,
Like,
like
he's so prudish in this.
He's
like,
such a prude.
Yes, he like cuts away from the sex scenes, it feels like.
but it's only because it's sexual shame. So do you know how he wrote his first novel, Childhood? He was in a clinic being treated for gonorrhea, and to keep himself busy, he just starts writing Childhood. That's how his whole career started.
Wow.
Everything is everything
changes
shifting.
everything.
Wow.
Changes everything.
No, this
changes
changes
everything.
everything.
I mean, it comes through so much in like just his obsession with Kitty's innocence.
Yeah.
Like all of that. Like it's the values, it's like we get it. Like the value system is very clear.
And
in
even
this.
like Levin being so ashamed that he has to like give Kitty his journal
Yeah,
to
yeah,
admit that
to-
he is not a virgin.
And that's what, that's a real thing that
That's what
Tolstoy
Tolstoy
did.
did.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Yeah, so what's going on with Levin? Yeah, he's basically like, I've been thinking about killing myself so much that I just don't go out with my rifle, that I hide my ropes. All my ropes are hidden, because he's like really struggling with, what it means to be alive.
I loved this sentence, which is the final one of one of the chapters, but Levin did not shoot himself or hang himself and went on living.
And
for something very biblical.
Well, frankly, the book could have ended there, because that is also where we end again later on.
Oh my
Do you
god,
know
I
what
wish it ended.
mean?
That would have been a perfect last line.
Yeah, because it said not suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is such a contrast with, I mean, I felt reading this that Levin and Anna are being so juxtaposed once again.
Yeah.
But that, he has these same, like, suicidal ideations, let's call them, like the same desire to die, but that he's able to, like, through reason, I guess, like, conquer it.
Well, he's able through reason to decide that reason doesn't
Yeah.
matter. He has to be totally eschewed in his favor of God.
And Kitty, it bothers me that Kitty doesn't have any of this kind of spiritual crisis. She's kind of completely satisfied with being a mother. And it's just, what new mother is not sitting around wondering, is this what all my life is? And what is there? It's the most existential experience in the world, and we don't really get any internal struggle. We don't get any doubt. We don't get, everything is about her husband's emotions, which, very much reflects the Tolstoy marriage. He completely, idealized her, but as a mother, his wife. Like, he felt that, he would talk about how she was so fulfilled by motherhood, but he wouldn't, he discouraged her interest in music. He discouraged her. She wrote, she actually wrote too. She wrote novels too.
Wow.
She wrote, she made these beautiful children's books for all of her children with illustrations. She had and her diaries are incredible. They're not just interesting, but they're also just beautifully written. And it's absolutely someone who's wrestling with all the same spiritual questions as Tolstoy, also wrestling with sexual shame and all of these things. And we land with this version of her who's just completely consumed with her son, and his smile just resolves all of her
Smiled and the world
questions.
stopped.
Well, that's her womanly innocence and wisdom, which are two sides of the same coin.
So true, so true, bestie. Yeah, there's even when I was reading this, when I got to the part where we were talking about where Levin is like, I've been thinking about killing myself, I was like, oh, why is it how come the way that Kitty relays this is so lighthearted and different? Like, it's not only that she doesn't have her own struggles, but that it's like she doesn't understand her husband's struggles, which is insane. First of all, because like in this book, we already have had sections where they have this like nearly telepathic connection, but also because I just don't think that like there's a such thing as like a union between a complicated person and an uncomplicated one. Like one of them is going to taint the other one if they're not already more similar than they've been shown to be. So it feels disingenuous, and it's like, boo.
Well, it's almost as if she knows he's not serious, you know? Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, oh, he'll figure that out or whatever. Which on one hand, I'm like, I'm with her.
I mean, I get it. When
this
I
is
got
not a
to
guy
this,
who's really good.
so it's not gonna do it. I only know Tolstoy through his writing. When I got to this section, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like I had that same reaction. I mean, I do think that there is some truth to the fact that maybe Tolstoy did struggle a little bit more, maybe much more than the average person, with how to live. His whole, and you see this going all the way back to War and Peace. He very much wanted to give up everything and become it's a tradition in Russia, a wandering ascetic, where you just kind of go around begging for alms, and you make these religious pilgrimages. It's a particular kind of thing in Russia. And in War and Peace, there's this Princess Mary or Mara. These religious wanderers visit her, and she's so tempted to join them. And she even kind of buys like things that she might wear if she were to go with them. But then she, gets married, becomes mom, becomes a wife. But at the very end of that novel, she still like opens up her drawer and like touches those clothes. And so that's where we do get, I don't want people to think that Tolstoy's female characters are also one-dimensional, because Princess Mary is one of my favorite characters in all of his books. But yeah, he very much struggled with that, and actually that is what he did right before he died. He, at the very end of his life, got his walking stick, a heavy coat, and started doing it, and then immediately died. Cause,
Go out with a bang.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point he was so old, and he froze. Basically got. Did he get pneumonia? I should remember how Tolstoy died. I know where he died. I know how he died, but I don't know what the actual diagnosis was. But yeah, he got sick from the exposure and elements. Yeah.
One thing that's interesting about that, and also about like where Levin is right now, are that like, didn't Tolstoy just like love his family and love having kids and loved family life?
He was. I mean, I hate to give men credit for raising their own children.
Yeah.
But even
The bare minimum.
Yeah.
But by the standards of his time, and even now, he was very involved and hands-on. His children loved him. He
knew their personalities.
He was actively involved with the management of the household. He was always looking to hire people, like hire governesses. Like they had a lot of trouble keeping governesses, and that's kind of where it's really funny that the novel begins with this affair with a governess, and it just destroys the household, because Tolstoy understood like what happens when you don't have this governess. You cannot cheat with the governess. It's the worst thing that you can do, because now your wife's mad at you and you don't have a governess. So he understood.
So funny.
He understood the management of a household and how to go for like maximum drama with that affair. So
interesting. It just. It is so interesting to me that like when Levin has a son, which is something that he's been so excited about, and has this family, which he's been so excited about, is when all of this turmoil comes to the surface about like, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Maybe I should not be here. That kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, the idea of it is interesting to have a whole section about like a suicidal person with a newborn. Like you just like brought a person into the world, and you're like trying to decide for yourself whether even being alive is worthwhile, which just makes for a really interesting and weird contrast.
Yeah, like I mean, I think he, like Anna, just isn't able to really settle. It goes back to that like daily bread, some people are just kind of satisfied with what they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, okay, this is my role. I'm a father. I'm a landowner. I'm just gonna, wake up every day and do the roles that have been assigned to me. And not everyone feels that way. Some people keep wondering, could there be more? And I mean, Stephen knows what that more is for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Levin doesn't, and he's actually wrong when he tells Steva, "Oh, I'm fine with my daily life."
Right. Yeah. He's that's so true.
He's not true. But it's just he doesn't register that because his sweet roles are not women. It's God.
It's God. His sweet role is God.
The idea of God being your temptation, that's crazy.
It's crazy, but it makes so much.
Yeah.
The context of Tolstoy. Yeah.
Well, he starts thinking about, I mean, I think this is even more true, but he starts thinking about a scene with Dolly and her children where she's like getting mad at them for like basically making a mess with like raspberries and milk and all this stuff. And he's like, we're like those children with God. Like we're making a mess because we don't understand. We could never understand like the true like power that the Creator has and like what our obligations are to like carry out his will. It just feels even more like he sees those things as linked, like the sweet roles and like the way that we kind of defy each other and his own like need for more.
Yeah. Yeah, that idea of like someone not being able to settle is so true for him because he gets to a point where he literally is like, if I cannot figure this out, I'm being mocked by the devil and I should kill myself. He's like, which is like the idea that anybody ever figures out being alive is like nobody does, but he is like, if I can't figure this out, then there's no reason for me to be here, which is like really fascinating. He says he decided that it was impossible to live that way, that he either had to explain his life so that it did not look like the wicked mockery of some devil or shoot himself. Okay. And like, that's a person who will never be satisfied.
I get it.
You know?
I get it.
Yeah. No, hey.
Yeah,
listen,
who among us?
But Tolstoy's novels always have these. His characters are always searching for, I mean, Kitty earlier in the novel, right, has that turmoil. Things don't quite work out with Vronsky, so she's like, maybe I'll devote myself to helping the sick and poor, and she tries to join Varenka as kind of a nurse, and that also doesn't satisfy her because I think we're meant to think that Kitty is just too kind of carnal. Yeah. Like the patients are turned on by her. There's something that she's emitting. She is supposed to be a sexual being and have children, whereas Varenka's this kind of, perfectly suited for that, that selfless nurse role because we're meant to think of her as plain,
like neutered. Kind of.
Yeah. But that's Kitty's crisis earlier in the novel. She's like, didn't work out with Vronsky. I blew my engagement, or I blew my chance with Levin, and now I can't be a nurse because all the patients
everyone's
want to
getting
sleep
turned
with
on
me.
by me.
What am I supposed to do? And it becomes kind of resolved for her through the thing that Tolstoy often does is he has this person who's kind of lost, and they kind of go from they sort of try out these different solutions. Like, okay, maybe I'll be in this hot relationship with Vronsky. Okay, that didn't quite work out. Maybe I'll go the opposite direction and be this kind of sexless, spinster volunteer in Germany. And that doesn't quite work out. And then they kind of land somewhere in the middle. Yeah. That's a very common thing for Tolstoy's characters. And, but with Levin, I don't know. I mean, he's really kind of like a self-contained mess. No, he doesn't. This revelation he has at the very end did nothing for me.
Nothing.
No.
Absolutely not a single thing. And
what did you figure out? I don't get it.
No, so he figured it out in part 2 when he was cutting the grass.
Right.
Just stop thinking and just live your life.
Yeah.
And to be fair, sure, perhaps I too am still learning that each day, despite knowing it. It just is funny for it to be presented in this way. He's like, the whole back and forth. They're like, but wait. I was just like, okay.
It comes to him like a dream. Like he's staring at the sky, and all of a sudden he's like, is this fate? Could this be? Yeah. And it's like, oh, if only it worked like that.
Yeah.
But I will say it is relatable that this line that he was happy whenever he did not think about the meaning of his life. I'm like, well,
What did it mean? It meant that life was good, but his thinking was bad. So fair. So fair.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we come a little, I think, what does he say? Like, hold on. But what am I questioning, he said to himself. I'm questioning the relation to divinity of all the different religions of mankind. I'm questioning the universal manifestation of God to all the world with all those misty blurs. What am I about? You know, I mean, there's kind of like, he says, to me individually, to my heart has been revealed a knowledge beyond all doubt and attainable by reason. I mean, is the knowledge that he really shouldn't be, that it's kind, you can't question the divine?
Right. And yeah,
it's hard to believe that that's like, it makes him sob, you know, with like relief. But maybe. I mean,
these misty blurs. What is it in your translation? Is it misty blurs too?
Which part where I
it's a chapter 19. I have it at like kind of the end of the first page.
Oh goodness. Okay, chapter 19. Let's see.
Right after the Confucians and the Buddhists.
Can these hundreds of millions of people be deprived of the highest good? What am I asking? I'm asking about the relation to the deity of all the various faiths of mankind. I'm asking about the general manifestation of God to the whole world with all these nebulae is what we have.
Yeah.
Nebulae is kind of scientific.
Misty blurs. See, I like misty blurs.
Yeah.
See, there's some stuff in your guys' translation I like. There's some stuff. That's you don't want to be like Levin searching for the perfect translation.
So true. You just have to pick one and really root for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry. There's also just like one like classically Levin section, which is like after he's playing in the grass, he's like, oh, I'm so happy. Like, I love and respect every being on earth, and I'm always going to. And then the coach man comes and touches him, and he goes, please don't fucking touch me.
It's the most Levin.
It's so crazy.
That is so true. Oh my God.
I love him.
I do.
He's my favorite character in the. I'm Levin.
You know what? I gotta say, it is a nice place to
He
end.
literally like, get your hands
Yeah, get your hands off of me. I mean, and then he acknowledges it finally at the end. In the very last paragraph, he's like, you know what? I'm going to be mad again.
Yes.
I'm going to be mad at people. I'm going to be mad at these bitches again.
Yes, which to be fair, the whole book, he's never been able to understand when he's in a profoundly emotional moment to know that he will at some point feel a different way.
Yes.
He never acknowledges that. So that actually is a big change.
It's a
for
big
him.
revelation.
Yeah.
Well,
What
we have
fun.
to, Jen, this is so fun.
This
and
was
I think,
so fun. It's such. I mean, you make me miss teaching.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like we were taught today.
Yes,
we
I
learned.
do.
No, I mean, not that I was teaching. No, but I miss being
being able to
in conversation, being able to share, kind of
Unpacking
what
a
I know,
text.
unpacking a text. It's very
so
fun to do.
fun.
You get to do that, as a critic on the page, but it's quite another to do it, in real time with other people.
Yeah.
And, it's so fun.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to do quiz? Do we want to do tag ourselves? Maybe we'll tag ourselves.
Start
first.
with tagging ourselves.
In the whole book, though.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
In the whole book, which character do I want to be, or which character do I identify with?
Give
the
us
latter,
both.
I would say. Or
Well,
or
I
maybe
mean,
both.
yeah.
I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm bragging, but I mean the negative parts of her. Like, I guess I still ultimately, I do connect really well with Anna. Like, I don't want to be a romantic. I don't want to think that romantic love will make my life complete, or that I should give it so much power and weight, but I do.
Oh.
I hate it, but I can't help it. I have
gotta
read
read
too many novels.
Yeah.
Just like our girl when she was
Just
in the
like
country.
our girl. Yeah. So, there you
Yeah.
go.
Fair.
Well,
Who would you want to be?
Who would I want to be? I don't know, because it's like, it seems like it would be fun to be Steva for a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would hate to cause so much hurt to Dolly.
And to be in such profound debt.
And to
Yeah.
be-
Oh God, I could not live like
he
that.
He doesn't even seem to mind.
No. He seems to revel in that.
He says actually the goal is to get the number high, right?
No, I mean, there was a while when I was in that kind of credit card debt.
Hey,
when I was
listen.
like, this is actually good for my credit score to be in a little debt.
Right.
I was like, really trying to.
I mean, until the end, Vronsky also kind of has a good deal.
Yeah.
Like he's everyone.
Except that one shooting himself time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone finds him. He's not particularly remarkable, and yet everyone is so taken with him. And,
So true.
everyone's vying for him, and but no, I identify the most with the parts of Anna I don't want to identify with. That's my answer to tag me. What about you guys?
Oh, I'm just Levin top to bottom.
Yeah.
Like I'm so Levin in such a big way. Like I had to like restrain myself from identifying with him every section. I was like, oh, I have to switch it up.
Yeah.
But, like,
Wow.
I just like so identify with someone who is so bothered by everything. Like nothing is lighthearted for him. Nothing is easy. I mean, even when he's like, I don't know. Oh, that wasn't in this section. This was in part 7. But I just like, he cracks me up when he's like, God, do I really have to like go visit people's houses? Do I have to And he's just like, everything is a problem. And then like when he gets there, he has a fine time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just,
Okay, that part
and just creating
totally.
trouble out of nowhere. I'm just like, yeah, I support him in a big way. He's very me.
Jen,
Leah?
I will say, I think you're our first person to tag themselves as Anna.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, because it sounds like, oh yeah, I identify with like the really hot one.
Yeah.
But no,
I
I
actually
mean,
am a bad bitch. And
No,
this is
and
savage.
exactly. Yeah. That's so funny. I am a bad bitch.
I am a bad bitch.
And this is savage.
And this is savage.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
God, okay, well, I know he's horrible, and I know we've already just talked about, like, what a bad guy he is and how he lives in debt and, like, ruins his wife's life, but,
Yeah.
God, I could not relate to Stephen more, just in the way that he, like, comports himself with, like, other, like, friends and people. Like, actually, I was thinking about when they're hunting and when he passes Veslovsky off to Levin.
He's like, I'm gonna have a good day.
Yeah, without saying anything, because he's like the whole time it's like he and Veslovsky are best friends. Meanwhile, he's like, I don't really feel like it right now.
He's
He's like,
amazing for that.
You take care of him. I will say, like,
Love that.
I feel him so hard.
You have that like that you're very bubbly. You're really you're really like nice presence. You're really
Thank you so
positive. I could
much.
see you.
You serve Oblonsky in a way.
I hope in the good parts of it.
I could see if she kicked someone out of the house because he was flirting
Yeah.
with you would be like, hey,
Yeah.
he's trying to figure this
Oh my
out.
God,
What's
yeah.
the
Oh my God, this
idea?"
would 100%. Yes, yeah. That would be exactly our dynamic.
And I can also see you standing up for me, going to my husband and being like, come on, let's give her a good
yeah.
deal. Like,
Yeah.
let's just sign the papers.
Yeah, no, why can't you just give her a good deal? Is so like a Leah thing.
Just let her be.
Just let her be. He has great quality. Everyone I know loves Steva. I know someone named their dog after Steva.
Oh, that's so cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, we're kind of the main people.
We're the main trio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
love
say
that.
one thing that I don't like about Levin that I cannot relate to is he doesn't seem to like laughing. He doesn't seem to like a joke at any point.
No.
He's
That's
a little
messed up.
he's a little more
That's
serious
not
than I
you.
could ever be. That's
No.
not me, but in every other regard, I see him. In all the others.
Every other.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd also be a better parent, a better father than
Oh, I'd be an incredible father. I'd be a wonderful father for
father
sure.
figure, if you will. Well, Jen, our last segment is we do this little pop quiz.
Oh my God.
Inspired by Nabokov, who would give these insane quizzes at the end of the semester when he taught this book. They're on like little details that we've marked along the way, and you know,
This is where I get humiliated.
no, I think these will be quite easy
I don't know
for you.
what color anyone's eyes are, but Anna. Let's see.
I
This
have
is
one.
closed book,
Yep.
I'm assuming.
Okay, so in this
Yeah,
section,
Okay.
yeah, close the book,
Okay,
close the
okay.
book, and just enter your mind palace.
Okay.
You can do this.
I don't know if I can, but okay.
In this section, there is a moment where it's raining, and Levin thinks for a minute that Kitty and Mitya have been killed.
Yeah.
How does he think they died?
He thinks that they were standing behind an oak tree that was struck by lightning.
Yes, amazing, easy.
Yeah,
okay.
See,
Yeah.
you're gonna crush this. It's gonna be slight work for you.
Okay, I really struggled to like scrounge up questions from this section because, as you know, we spend most of it in Levin's head.
Yeah.
Believing in God, not believing in God. Why am I here? What? Okay. And then, so I just have one really, which is what animal is Levin newly kind of obsessed with in this section?
In this section, not the bees. Is it the bees?
It's the bees.
The
Yeah.
bees.
The
Okay,
bees.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
newly
I was trying to
obsessed
remember
with
if
the
that
bees.
was new to this section or not. I can't remember. But yeah, the bees.
I think this is the first time they're mentioned. Yeah, in the.
Well,
in
you know,
the
they're
book.
communal.
Yeah.
And he's reading all the Slavophile religious philosophy, which is all about like finding faith through community. That God will never reveal Himself to you all alone. It has to be you surrounded by other people in faith. So
Wait,
Tea.
and oh my god,
and
and,
we
there are
wouldn't have known
workers,
that.
and there are you know
And
how he
communal
loves that.
work. Communal work.
Come
Yeah.
on,
Wow.
wow, okay, love
I
this.
love that.
Okay, this is very niche.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
But I think you'll get it. At the end, Levin is called into the nursery while Kitty's bathing their son.
Yeah.
Because she's realizing that he knows how to recognize people.
Oh, yeah.
And they test this out by putting somebody else in front of them and then putting Kitty in front of him really fast. Who's the other person that they put in front of him?
Gaia? No.
It's
not
kind
her.
of like her.
Is it the nurse? No. It's. I don't remember.
It's-
Who is the other? Who else is in the nursery with them? It's a decoy for Levin.
Basically, it's like a random person. It's not one of his own people.
Oh man, that's so interesting. Who's Chujue? Who's other? Who's foreign in the house? Well, then it can't be. It can't be Levin's brother. Is it the professor?
It's randomly a scullery maid that they bring
Oh.
into the nursery just for this purpose.
Okay.
I thought this was the craziest thing. They're like, come on in. And then they just put her in front of him. He frowns and is like, boo. And then they put Kitty in front and he's like, yay.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was a maid or a nurse or it was like
Yeah.
one of the household staff. Yeah.
I feel like Agathia was pretty close.
Yeah.
That seems like
Okay.
check to me.
I found 2 more questions. They're gonna
Okay.
be so hard.
Okay.
Okay, so as we know, Sergei Ivanovich gets to the train station. They run into so many people because all these people are sending different things out to Serbia. Sorry, I just lost the question. I'm looking for.
Amazing. We're making these so hard.
I have no idea where it went. Oh yeah. Okay, so Princess Miyagi is sending how many guns and how many nurses to Serbia?
God, that's hard.
I definitely, like, how many guns and how many
Yeah.
nurses?
Damn.
I'm confusing it with Steva's salary.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
There are a lot of numbers in that section. Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
How
it's-
much? How many was it?
1,000 guns and 12 nurses.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't guess because I would have been like 8,000 because that was Steva's salary.
Yeah, I
12 nurses is so funny.
No, I literally would have guessed like 50 guns. Like, where is she getting? How is she able to source 1,000?
She's got 1,000 guns. Yeah, but it
That's
kind of
a
shows
lot.
you that there were people were
Yeah,
really
they're digging deep. They're
digging deep for this cause.
Yeah, they were down for the cause.
These poor nurses.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't send me out there.
No, exactly.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
It's also funny
Crazy
to think
time
of
to
like
be a travel nurse.
1,000 guns and 12 nurses as like kind of like equal value or something. It's like, well, that's about.
Okay. Do you have any more?
No, that was the last of mine.
Okay. What is the song that the young people are singing at the train station?
Oh God. Oh God. I don't know. I don't know.
It's Glory Be.
Glory V. Okay.
To what? To whom? I don't
To
know.
whom? Okay. I don't think I registered it as that as a song. I thought it was like a chant or something.
Quoted as
But
if it's a song.
yeah, no, it probably
yeah.
is a song. I just didn't register it that way. Yeah.
Glory be.
Glory be. Hurrah. In Russian and
Živio,
Serbian.
in a way.
And Jivia, as I always say.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank
Jen,
you so much.
This was the best way to finish it off.
I'm so happy. I'm like thrilled. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so much for
Thank
all
you for
your time.
having me.
Thank you for
Bye,
coming.
everyone.
Bye,
Thanks for
guys.
reading.